There's a razor-thin line between existing and exploding into being, and it cuts through the heart of every choice you've ever avoided. History doesn't remember the hesitant. The grave is filled with skeletons clutching maybe and someday. But you feel it now. That tectonic pressure building beneath your ribs. The universe is screaming at you through the fog of complacency. Burn the boats or rot on the shore. When Cortés landed at Veracruz in 1519, he gave an order that echoed through eternity. Burn the ships. Not a single sailor looked back. No retreat, no plan B, only conquest or death. That single decision transformed merchants into conquerors because indecision is the anesthesia of the extraordinary. Ford knew this when he gambled his entire fortune on the V8 engine. No prototypes, no safety nets. Edison understood it when he sold his stock ticker patent to fund Menlo Park, sleeping on lab floors while creditors circled. These weren't reckless acts. They were conscious amputations of escape routes. You're standing on your own shoreline right now, staring at vessels of compromise, the 925 lifeboat, the relationship raft, the "I'll start tomorrow" dinghy. Set them ablaze. Watch the smoke choke the horizon. That ash is the fertilizer of destiny. The masses drown in the Mabermire. They dip toes where giants dive skull first into the abyss. Carnegie didn't consider steel dominance. He sold every bond, mortgaged every asset, and declared war on iron. Jobs didn't test Apple's resurrection. He slashed products, fired executives, and bet his legacy on a translucent computer. Paralysis isn't a personality trait. It's a choice to bleed slowly. Neuroscientists confirm it. Indecision floods your brain with cortisol, shrinks your prefrontal cortex, and traps you in biological quicksand. But the moment you commit, dopamine rockets through your veins. Clarity ignites. Lincoln felt it when he penned the Emancipation Proclamation, not as a draft, but as a detonation. He burned every diplomatic boat, every compromise, every wait and see. That document wasn't ink. It was napalm. You want transformation, then annihilate alternative paths. Rockefeller did it at 16 when he quit school and tattooed $100,000 in his mind, not as a goal, but as a blood oath. Earhart did it when she boarded the Friendship with no parachute, no radio, and a sandwich. These weren't leaps of faith. They were calculated cremations of mediocrity. Your escape hatches are killing you. The just until job, the safety relationship, the backup career. Rip them out. Weld the exits shut. Disney mortgaged his house to build Disneyland while hospitals treated his wife for cancer. That's burning boats. Not when it's convenient, but when it's catastrophic. When the waves are clawing at your ankles. When the hounds of average are snapping at your heels. Listen to the silence before greatness. It's not empty, it's electrified. Tesla heard it in Colorado Springs, coils screaming with artificial lightning. Curie felt it in her shed, hands blistering from radium burns. They'd torched normalcy so completely that retreat smelled like corpses. This is the ultimatum carved into existence itself. No decision, no power. Partial commitment, partial life. The Wright brothers didn't test gliders. They built Flyer I with no ejection seats. No life insurance. Just two bicycle mechanics who erased crash from their vocabulary and replaced it with fly or die. Your dreams aren't waiting for resources. They are waiting for ruthlessness. For you to douse your excuses in gasoline and drop the match. Feel that tremor in your hands. That's not fear. It's potential fission. The chain reaction of a choice that vaporizes timelines. Spartans felt it at Thermopylae, sharpening spears as Persian shadows blotted out the sun. Roosevelt channeled it after polio, declaring I'll walk into that convention hall unaided before dragging his deadweight legs onto the stage. When you burn boats, you activate a primal frequency, the point of no return resonance. It magnetizes resources. It forges alliances. It bends reality because the universe rewards irreversible conviction. Bezos launched Amazon from a garage with a regret minimization framework. Not what if I fail, but what if I never try. His boats were ashes before the first book shipped. Now, the firestorm. When boats burn, two things ignite: clarity and creativity. Survival instincts laser focus your mind. Edison's lab glowed for 72 straight hours after investors abandoned him. He invented the phonograph because retreat was literal starvation. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter on welfare checks with a baby screaming in her lap. No fallback, no safety net. Just one law or ruin. This is where genius thrives. In the scorched earth between can't and must. You'll discover skills you never logged. Alliances you never tracked. Doors materialize when you nail yours shut. Why? Because burning boats doesn't just destroy escape routes. It incinerates your old identity. The salaryman becomes the pioneer. The doubter becomes the zealot. The victim becomes the general. The execution is merciless. Name your conquest. Not lose weight. Carve a warrior's physique by December 1st. Identify every boat. Savings for a cushion. Burn it. The just-in-case degree? Torch it. Public immolation. Post the goal. Sign the lease. Quit the job. Like Caesar crossing the Rubicon. Broadcast the treason. Arm the deadline, not someday. Dawn on October 3rd, midnight on New Year's. Cortés didn't burn ships eventually. Lincoln did this with the 13th Amendment, bribing congressmen in open daylight because slavery ends now, not in phases. Witness the metamorphosis. When boats burn, your psychology shifts from avoiding pain to pursuing survival. Rockefeller's mantra became, "I am the oil titan," the day he quit his bookkeeping job. Not, "I will be." I am. That tense shift is neurological nitroglycerine. Your brain stops plotting retreat and starts engineering triumph. Ford's factory floors didn't birth the assembly line through brainstorming. They forged it when bankruptcy loomed and every boat was cinder. You'll work harder, dig deeper, and see clearer because failure stops being an option and becomes a corpse. But hear this warning. Boats burn hot. Expect scars. Expect nights howling at the moon. Beethoven composed his Ninth Symphony deaf and penniless because he'd burned his teaching boats. Van Gogh sliced off his E not in madness, but in furious commitment to colors only he could see. This path isn't for the sentimental. It's for the starved, the desperate, the ones who'd rather choke on ashes than swallow another day of mediocrity. Your comfort zone isn't a place, it's a coffin. And you've been lying in it, polishing the satin, for decades. So, the ultimatum crystallizes. Burn your boats by dawn tomorrow, or sign your surrender to average. Not consider. Not plan. Act. Text your resignation now. Transfer the savings into your startup tonight. Propose. Publish. Proclaim. Like Churchill in 1940, you ask, what is our aim? Victory. Victory at all costs. No escape clauses. No conditional courage. The flames are calling. Not as destruction, as birth. Cortés' sailors didn't drown. They seized an empire. Your boats aren't vessels. They are crutches. Torch them. Walk into the inferno with eyes wide open. And rise, phoenix of your own making, from the cinders of cowardice. History's door is cracking. Kick it off its hinges. Now.